Hi everyone, this is AJ. So here I am back from my viewing of Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. Second viewing. Now the other day I did post a review for this movie. It was on Thursday morning and it was non-spoiler. So this review here, I warn you now, is spoiler 100%. So if you don't want to know, then I suggest you proceed no further and you switch this video off, because I'm going to be going into detail about this movie. Let's get into it. Okay, yeah, so Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This film runs for 2 hours and 5 minutes, directed by Sam Raimi. As we all know, Sam Raimi had directed the Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire. Evil Dead trilogy, Bruce Campbell. Yeah, we know Sam Raimi. He's a fantastic director, and he helmed this movie. Now, this movie, to watch it, to get the most out of this film, you should really have seen WandaVision, Marvel's What If, specifically 3 episodes. Okay, the very first episode would help, the Agent Carter one, that is, the Doctor Strange episode, and the Zombieverse episode. Yes, so this story starts with an opening scene of Doctor Strange and America Chavez, this new character, being chased by this monster, and they're in this interdimensional place. This isn't our Doctor Strange, this is a different Doctor Strange, and we come to learn that this monster is after American Chavez because it wants to get to her power. Her power is the ability to travel the multiverses. Yeah, but this Doctor Strange decides, because he can't stop the monster, he's going to have to take her power, thusly killing her. This doesn't come to fruition because this Doctor Strange is killed. But before he's killed, he does save her and allows her to escape through her portals, and his body gets sucked through with it. She lands into our dimension. Now we catch up with our Doctor Strange, and he's getting ready to go to a wedding. Yes, the wedding of his girlfriend, Christine Palmer. Although it's not him marrying her, it's someone else, because obviously he's been away for 5 years where he was blipped, and he has other things at hand. He's, Doctor Strange, isn't he? So he ain't got time for this sort of thing, but he is feeling somewhat guilty over this. He is feeling the loss of her, and this does come into play in the movie. The wedding is interrupted by a fracas outside, or I should say the after party of the wedding, and it's Chavez coming to our land, our world, being chased by this tentacled monster. So Doctor Strange and Wong intercede, they kill the monster, and they get her, and get her to safety. They take her to Kamar-Taj, but Doctor Strange goes off to see Wanda. Wanda's living alone, obviously in the middle of nowhere, like we saw at the end of the TV series WandaVision, but she slips up, and we come to learn that where she's been practicing with the book, the Darkhold, the evil magic book, that this has corrupted her, and it's actually her who's going after Chavez, who wants her power. Yes, and gives Doctor Strange an ultimatum to hand her over, or all hell will break loose with the Scarlet Witch. And thusly it does. The Scarlet Witch comes to Kamar-Taj and kicks crap out of everyone there, and we get this big fight scene. Only Doctor Strange and Chavez manage to escape through to multiple dimensions they go through, landing in this one particular one where they decide to go and get help from that world's Doctor Strange, only they find out that world's Doctor Strange is dead. And thusly it's Mordo who's there. If you remember him from the first one, he's the Sorcerer Supreme in this world, but he double crosses Doctor Strange, puts something in his tea, knocks him out. Doctor Strange and Chavez is imprisoned, and Doctor Strange goes and sees the Illuminati. Yes, the Illuminati from the comics. And the Illuminati here is made up of Reed Richards, played by John Krasinski, Black Adam, played by Anson Mount, who we've recently seen in Star Trek Strange New Worlds, who played, so not Black Adam, Black Bolt, who Anson Mount played Black Bolt in the Inhumans TV series. Captain Carter is there, Hayley Atwell. You've got Professor Xavier, yes, Patrick Stewart, and you've got a woman of colour playing this version of Captain Marvel. We come to find out that this world's Doctor Strange also got somewhat corrupted by the Darkhold, and they had to put a stop to him, and they killed him. Specifically, Black Bolt killed him using his voice. At this point, Wanda, Scarlet Witch, comes into the fray. She kills everyone, the Illuminati, in different ways, and the story progresses like that. Towards the end, Doctor Strange takes over, sleepwalks into someone else's body, but it's the corpse of his dead self that came through in the first act, and takes hold of his body to get to Wanda, because he can't get through, he's in a different dimension or a different multiverse, and so you've got this zombie stuff at play there. So that's the basic story for the film. Now I love the film. I can't knock it. I really did enjoy it. I had a fabulous time with it. I thought it was fast paced from beginning to end. It looked beautiful. It's got some of that trademark Sam Raimi camera moves and all this sort of stuff. Now, on my first viewing, I did have certain questions, right? Question one was why Wanda wouldn't just ask Chavez, befriend her and say, look, can you help me out? Can you let me go through the multiverse and find my children and this sort of a thing? I didn't catch it on the first viewing, but it did answer that question. She wants the power. She wants it. Yes. Another question was what would happen to the other parents of her children in this other reality if she went through, and this was explored within the film as well. Thematically, the film was about loss and how we handle with loss, because on the one hand you've got a storyline that mirrors between Doctor Strange and Wanda. They're opposing sides of the same coin. On the one hand, Wanda's suffering this loss of these children that she had in the WandaVision TV series, and she wants to get to them. Doctor Strange is suffering this loss of Rachel Palmer. Did I say Catherine Palmer earlier in the thing? I think I did. Rachel Palmer. I don't know. It's Rachel Mcadams, isn't it? Oh, Jesus Christ. My mind's just like, there's so much going on in my head with this film. Anyway, Dr. Palmer. Let's go with that. Doctor Strange, he's suffering with the loss of her. So you've got this opposing side of things. On the other side of that, you've got Wanda. She's happy to take power from people. Magic and this sort of thing for her own ends. Doctor Strange isn't far off doing this as well within the context of the film. So they are opposing sides of the same coin. They are very similar in what they do and how they reach their goals. All the other Doctor Stranges do this sort of thing. They take power. And this does sort of hark back to the first Doctor Strange film. So I'm just getting a bit more comfortable there. Because Doctor Strange has always been hungry for power, hungry for knowledge. He's always wanted more. We saw this of him when he was training in Comatage in the first film, taking books that he shouldn't have been reading at the time, this sort of thing. So it's not beyond the belief that some of these Doctor Stranges would take power from someone, if so be it, that they would rather take the power than have the person die and this sort of thing like that. So, some people say there are plot holes within it. I think a lot of these plot holes have been filled, and when you look at the characters' growth over the series and the films, you understand the characters and what makes them tick inside. You can get through some of the plot holes in the film. Now, for me personally, I loved the appearance of Reed Richards and all these sort of people, but on the flip side of it, I didn't like seeing these characters die so easily. I thought it was fantastic that we got to see WandaVision and her powers, her powers were out of control in this film. She was formidable against anyone that came along. And she's got that ability. She is one of the most powerful characters within the Marvel universe, and we saw that on display here. Now, another thing is that I thought about it and thought, okay, where we left her at the end of WandaVision, she looked like she was past most of this, but she obviously wasn't, because we did get that scene at the end of WandaVision where she is reading the Darkhold. She is there reading it, and that Darkhold does corrupt people that read it. So it does work in the context of that. With these other characters that did pop up in the film, I didn't like that they, like I said, that they were killed. But again, you can see them because this is multiverses we are playing in. This is not necessarily the Captain Carter that we saw within the the What If TV series. Yeah, and Reed Richards, obviously, I mean, I like John Krasinski, fantastic seeing him as Reed Richards, superb, I liked that. The film does play a lot on sort of horror elements. There's chase sequences through these tunnels, which are played like something straight out of a horror film. The stuff with the zombie Doctor Strange at the end, very horrific looking. But overall, I thought this film was just fantastic. It was phenomenal. It looked superb. It lacks any humour. It hasn't got the humour that a lot of the other Marvel films carry through it. It is very lacking in that sense. There are a few little bits here that you could chuckle at, but it does lack that kind of a thing. It's more of a serious tone going through, but very colourful, very bright, would probably look fantastic in 3D. For me, this is a top tier Marvel film. For me, I would put it in probably my top 5 favourite Marvel films now. I feel that 6 years between Doctor Strange films is a very long time. And I know he's appeared in a couple of the Avengers films and this sort of a thing, but if you consider the fact that between that first Doctor Strange film and this second one, we've had 3 Spider-Man films. That's mental. That's crazy. That's unreal. I feel that characters like Spider-Man are overplayed now, overdone. They need to take a rest and explore some of these other characters because money's still there to be made on these. But these companies seem to like going for the big bucks, the easy bucks, so to speak. But let's concentrate on some of these other characters because there's a fantastic wealth of them out there. Now, Rachel McAdams in this film, she got far more to do than what she did in the first film, playing this other version of herself, which was really good. Benedict Wong is on point, right? He's always fantastic in every Marvel film that he pops up. Even when he pops up in just like a cameo appearance, he's really good. And in this film, it's no exception. We see him fight a lot. He does fight quite a bit in this. I don't really know what else to say. When they stepped in the territory of the sort of dream walking, I thought to myself, okay, are we going to see Sleepwalker? I would love to see Sleepwalker even in a cameo. Now, Sleepwalker is a character from Marvel Comics who very much like how this film depicts it, where these people are able to sort of puppet someone else from their dimension, take over their body and puppet them for a while. Sleepwalker is a character that does this essentially, that when his host goes to sleep, he's able to come through from his dimension and take over the body of this individual, much like how this film portrays it. And he's a character that I would love to see on film, and he was part of the Marvel Legends Doctor Strange lineup, but without the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness title to it. But he was a part of that set to build the bigger character. But alas, he's not in the film. I like the idea that any dreams that we have, they're not dreams. They're not just our subconscious kicking around ideas and this sort of thing. But what we're seeing in our dreams are actually goings on in other multiverse worlds. So anything that you dream of yourself that's different is coming from something that's happening out there somewhere in one of these other endless realities. I thought that was a fantastic concept. This film is just, the acting is great. Benedict Cumberbatch is on form. I can't knock anyone in the film whatsoever. The new character of Chavez, she was likeable from the get-go, an interesting character. be great to utilise her in the future in these films so we can travel in the multiverse some more. I'm sure that will happen. I'm sure there might be a Secret Wars film coming, or they'll probably do Secret Wars at some point, whether it's in TV or in film. Again, that would be fantastic. This film is just, go and see it. Just go and see it. Like I said, this was all spoiler anyway, so I'm presuming that you have watched the film for you to be here. And I'm probably missing out on loads. I've seen it twice, but there's so much going on, that so much to take in and so much I want to say. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there for you. Yeah, we'll leave it off. Tell me your thoughts below, what you thought of the film, what you thought of it. One thing I haven't said is about the music. The music by Danny Elfman, who does the soundtrack for this film. Very, very good. It does utilise some of the score from the very first film, Doctor Strange film. It is played into it. And also, you do get a little bit of sprinkling of the X-Men music when Professor X appears. Fantastic stuff. Now, I am nearing the end of this video, so it would be somewhat remiss of me if I wasn't going to talk about the end credits scene. Yeah, so the first end credits scene of this film sees Charlize Theron's character turn up. She's a character named Clea. Now, in the comics, she came around in about 1964, I believe it was, her first appearance. More recently, she has taken over the role of the Sorcerer Supreme in the comics. And she did marry Doctor Strange in the comics for a while also. So, obviously, they've got a history together from the comics. We'll see what the films play out with that. Because obviously, we haven't seen the last of Doctor Strange. Now, if you hang around until the very, very end of the end credits, which I'm so happy I did, you get a fantastic appearance, second appearance in the film, of Bruce Campbell. Yes, Bruce Campbell appeared earlier in the film, and Doctor Strange done a little bit of magic on him where he starts assaulting himself. Now, this is quite funny in itself because obviously Bruce Campbell is good friends with Sam Raimi, and Sam Raimi has got a history of torturing Bruce Campbell within films by making him doing stuff that's rather slapstick and hitting himself and all this sort of thing. So it plays into that historic side of their relationship that they have. So there he is, hitting himself and all this sort of stuff as this sort of hot dog vendor. And Doctor Strange says, oh, it will only last a few weeks. And then at the very end, you catch up with him and he's still punching himself, all worn out. And it wears off and it finishes. And he literally looks into the camera and says, it's over. Film's over, but what he's gone through is over. It's a double sort of meaning. So very good, very funny, fantastic end credits scene, because I'm a big Bruce Campbell fan. So for me, that was just spot on. Brilliant stuff. And also keep an eye out in the film for the car that Sam Raimi puts into all his films. Yes, that classic car that Sam Raimi's got. I'm not sure what car it is, but it's in all the Evil Dead films. Uncle Ben rides around with it in the Spider-Man films. Sam Raimi does get it into all of his movies, with the exception of The Quick and the Dead, because that's a Western. It's there in this film. It's spinning around in the air. Keep an eye out for it. But yeah, so anyway, so like I said, I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below on the film. I'd love to hear what you think of it. Good, bad. Love to get into a lively discussion about the film. Anything you think are plot holes. See if I can come up with ways that they're not plot holes. Because, you know, like I said, on second viewing, I picked up things I didn't pick on that first view, and little things said and this sort of thing. Hit the subscribe button, come and join me, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care all, and goodbye.